Hello everyone, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink, and with yet another Valentine card. I had to make this into a card. So I filmed this after I got the Nuvo Glimmer paste. The previous video was me showing my second attempt. This was when I just got them. I'd let them sit overnight to get back up to room temperature because when they showed up they were frozen. So I wasn't sure what condition they would be in. And the very first one I opened was this red one. This is Garnet Red, and I was so happy to see that everything was fine. So I've kept the white foam inserts. I only opened the ones I was going to use. The other ones I've left sealed so far. Someone mentioned an idea that might work is to put saran wrap over the open container and then put the lid on if you want to try and help keep it sealed. So I just thought I would pass that on. So I was literally just playing here. I wasn't intending to make anything. I was just wanting to, spread out this Glimmer paste onto some cardstock. So that's what I was doing. I just had pulled out my Tonic craft mat, and then I have some cotton candy cardstock and the Simon Says stamp drawn hearts stencil. Normally I would tape the stencil down, making sure, it's not going to move, etc. But I was just playing. But like I said in the previous video, when working with any embossing paste, but especially anything like a glitter paste, you want to clean everything up immediately. You don't want to let it sit and dry on like your work surface, the stencil, the palette knife, anything like that. So I immediately wiped it off my craft mat and then washed the stencil and the tool, because otherwise it is so difficult to try and remove, near impossible. So I had let that dry overnight, and I didn't want to waste this piece, so I had kept it with the package, but it was sitting here and I'm like, it's got hearts on it. I need to make another Valentine's card. And I also had this picture book Love Bear wafer die that Simon released not too long ago that I've been wanting to use, and it's just so cute. So I pulled out all the bits of cardstock that I wanted to use with this. That's what I'm loving about the picture book dies is, and I've said this before, it's so great for using up small bits of cardstock because I have tons of little scraps from so many things. So it gives me, an excuse to kind of use them up. So I pulled out all the pieces I wanted to use to create my bear. And I also have this piece of black cardstock because I'm going to use that for my sentiment. And I'm going to run the cardstock through my little Xyron sticker maker here to coat the black cardstock, as well as all these little pieces of, I've got black, pink, gray, ivory, and red cardstocks. I'll have links to them all. These are all Simon colors. And I ran all those pieces through so that everything has adhesive backing to them. And I just rubbed my Teflon bone folder on this really well and go around the edges just to pick up any excess adhesive on this backing sheet. So then once all of this has its adhesive on it, I can put the dies into place and run these through my machine. So I'm going to run everything through my Gemini here because I'm going to do as much die cutting at once to save myself the effort. So I'm just going to tape my dies in place with little bits of washi tape, because this way I can flip these over and then run them through my Gemini. Again, people have been asking me what I think about the Gemini Junior. I am absolutely loving it. I've been using it for everything and I just love it. So I have my sentiment die and my picture book die in place, and then I'm using one of the Simon Says nested hearts wafer dies, as well as an MFT A2 rectangle die. So I tape those into place with the washi tape, and I can fit all three there onto my cutting mats for my Gemini Junior, and then ran those through. The heart I'm not going to use. I'm going to just save that with the cardstock because I can use it on a future card. I just wanted the kind of the outline for my card front. And then for the bear and the sentiment, I'm going to run these through multiple times. And then I realized with these three smaller pieces, because I just need, the dots for the eyes and the nose, the little hearts for his ears, and that little heart on his chest, I realized I could run this all through at once rather than die cut these 3 separate times. It's like the pieces are small enough and the areas are small enough. I just tape them into place so I can do one pass through my machine and die cut all those colors in one pass. I love when that happens and saves me time. So I did that. So then I've got all of these pieces. They've all got adhesive on the back of them. So it's just a matter of putting everything together to create my card. So I've got all these little pieces for the bear, and I'm still going to do my standard adhere everything to copy paper because I wasn't sure if I was going to pop this up with foam tape or anything like that. And I just love doing it this way with these picture book characters, adhering all the pieces to copy paper and then undercutting it to trim it out, and then I can put them wherever I want. So this is the first time I've done it though by coating everything with Xyron adhesive, and I really like this. This went faster. I need to do this more often. So I just peeled the backing off the pieces I wanted to use, and then for the tiny little pieces, I'm just using my little die pick here, and that I can scrape that off to remove the backing paper, and then, you know, it sticks to the die pick, and then I can quickly put it into place. So that's what I did for the little heart ears. And then for his eyes and nose, these were pressed like right into the wafer die, which I was perfectly fine with because I was able to remove the backing paper and the pieces stayed in the die. So then I can just get rid of all this little excess bits here. And then I can flip this over and then just wiggle it till it's positioned right over all those die cuts. And then use my die pick to press through the holes, and the nose and the eyes are perfectly placed, and I don't have to sit and fiddle with tiny, tiny, tiny little pieces. So my bear is now made, so I can quickly undercut. And again, the beauty of the Xyron adhesive is I didn't press down really, really hard, so nothing's like permanently adhered. So it was really easy to trim this out. So again, saved me time and effort. I was kind of happy. I should have been doing this before. And then the remaining pieces from this bear, like I have the ivory cardstock and the little like other pieces, I'm just putting back into the package with the die. So the next time I go to make this, I can use them if I want, you know, and make an ivory colored bear or whatever. So I don't like wasting those pieces when they're actual, you know, usable pieces. And then I'm doing the exact same thing with the sentiment. And this sentiment is from the Simon Says Stamp CZ Design Exclusive Just Words #1 wafer die set. There's a whole bunch of different words in the set. So I pulled out the Love You sentiment for this. And I die cut it 3 times from black cardstock. And again, I'd run it through the Xyron there like I showed. And then I die cut it so everything's got adhesive. So it's just a matter of peeling off that adhesive and stacking 3 of these together. So I've got, you know, that depth and dimension that I love. And once I have all 3 stacked, I can just pop that out of the scrap cardstock and it's good to go. So after I've done all of that, I can now really get to adhering this whole card together. So I had created that window with the heart die, and I backed that whole piece with foam tape, and I wasn't shy with the foam tape. I coated the entire thing because I don't want it to like warp anywhere. And then I trimmed down that piece of pink cardstock that I had added the red Glimmer paste to. And I'm going to save the other larger piece. I'm just going to keep it in the package so the next time I go to use it, it's there. And before I do anything, I'm going to adhere or add adhesive to the back of this pink cardstock, peel off all of this foam tape, and then I can press the stenciled cardstock into place there. So by just having the foam tape, 1, it gives it that little extra dimension, and 2, it adheres nicely over this stenciled background because there's quite a bit of, you know, dimension to it from that Glimmer paste. So now I've got adhesive on the back of everything, the foam tape, the cardstock, etc. And I can adhere this to my card base, which is the same gray cardstock. This is smoke cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. And that's the same gray used for the bear. And now I got to figure out where I'm going to place my bear. So I ended up just trimming off a bit with scissors. I wanted to make sure the heart on him was still visible, so I didn't want to tuck him too far off to the side. So I just trimmed off a bit with scissors so I could kind of nestle him right in the center of this heart here. And I ended up deciding to use some Collage medium that I got. I just showed that in my last haul video. This is the first time I used it. So far I think it's great. I will have a video on liquid adhesives coming very soon. I got to finish editing it. So I just squeezed out a bit of that over the back of my little bear here, and then I can adhere that into place and then let that glue dry. And then my sentiment I'm going to adhere in place. And honestly, I had to walk away from this for a bit because it was all I could do. I really wanted to add like glossy accents and crystals and jewels and sequins. And it just, I kept telling myself, I'm like, no, leave it like this. It looks nice, the cardstock and just the simplicity, and let the hearts, the stenciled hearts and the glitter from that, you know, take center stage. So the inside of the card I stamped with a sentiment from the Simon Says Stamp Handwritten Love set, and that was it. I didn't add any other embellishments. I turned on my flashlight on my phone so you guys could see like that sparkle of the background, and I left it at that. So that's it for today. I will have links below the video to my blog post with links to all the supplies used. You can check that out below if you are interested. Thank you all so much for watching and subscribing and thumbs upping and commenting on my videos, and I will see you all very soon in the next one. Bye!